guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of MaHogany's World. I'm your girl MaHogany. If you're new here, hey babe. If you are returning, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I love y'all so much. This morning I started off by getting me a smoothie. I wanted to just try something different, and I'm actually gonna be getting me a blender at home for real, y'all, so that I can make my own smoothies in the morning. But a smoothie is something I think I want to add to my morning routine. So I headed over to Tropical Smoothie, as y'all saw, and I grabbed me a smoothie. And I ended up getting the, in case y'all want to know, the Sunrise Sunset. That's actually my favorite one. And it has like pineapples in it, I think mangoes. It's really good. Literally my favorite one out of all of them. And it's this fruit smoothie. It doesn't have any protein or anything like that in it. And so I grabbed that this morning, and it felt really good to just get out the house and go grab that. Also, if you guys aren't following me on my other social media platforms, which is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, pretty much I'm everywhere. So make sure you're locked in with your girl. You can't say that you are a true family member if you ain't locked in with your girl everywhere. Like, if you say we besties, we gotta be locked in, okay? And that's just on period. But I hope y'all are doing good. I hope y'all are feeling good. Today's a new day, and in every day I've been trying to just inhale the positivity and exhale negativity, negative thoughts, just everything in my space. I want it to be positive, and I want it to be of God, and I want it to be right. And through this journey, I've been finding routines that feel right and feel just, you know, that resonate with me and where I am. And so that has definitely been a journey. I've been journaling a lot, and I've been learning so much just about myself, and it's been a journey. It's a journey, but nonetheless, I wanted to do this video to share with you guys just an update on, because we all know that Valentine's Day was just the other day, and it was definitely different for me because it was literally the first Valentine's Day I ever have spent alone. And by alone, I mean without my partner. Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching. We're pausing real quick to share a little bit about my Patreon. Love y'all. Mwah. What's going on, guys? It's your girl MaHogany, and if you don't know already, I am also on Patreon. Click the link in the description box to join my Patreon. On my Patreon, I share the real, the raw, and the uncut of my journey, especially my healing journey, going through a divorce, what that looks like, how has that affected my mental health, the kids, and also details around the affair with receipts. I share all of that on my Patreon. And of course, with my YouTube family, I share a lot with you guys too. And some of y'all love what you get, but there's a group of y'all that are like, I want to know more. I want to know deeper. I want to know just how are you doing today mentally? Some things that I can't share publicly on YouTube. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely head over to my Patreon. It's some of you that are like, hey, I get it. What you went through was hurtful. It wasn't right. And I want to support you in any kind of way. I don't care what you post in your Patreon. I want to be a part. Definitely click the link in my description box. And I have gotten so many comments from people that are like, I'm going through what you're going through right now, or I've been there, and I want a sister, someone that I can talk to about this situation, and we can have real conversations. If that's you, my Patreon is definitely for you too. So click the link in the description box and join me on Patreon as we grow, heal, and be our best selves over there. See you on Patreon. In 10 years, might be 11 years, but about 10 years, because of course before we my kid's father and I had got married, you know, of course we had dated and everything like that. So it has to be either 10 or 11 years. And that was definitely different for me. It was definitely different for me. And in some ways it was a little triggering, but I will say I've had the most amazing, and when I say amazing, I have literally had the most amazing group of friends. And I tell you, it's like in everywhere I turn in my life, I can literally see God's favor and how God was making sure that when this moment happened and when things got to this place, I was going to have everything I needed. And even just how I made friends with certain people in certain seasons. And I will say the friend circle that I have, the family circle that I have, has been almost overwhelming, but sometimes overwhelming has a negative connotation to it. So I don't like to use that word, but overwhelming in a positive way. You know, my friends, they're always reaching out to me. My family. If you know anything about me, you know that I grew up in a broken home. And my father, he was in and out of my life. And even my father has like came into my life, and that's just a whole thing I want to share with y'all. And he's just been there for me, and it's like, wow, like, God, you are really doing something. You really just care in so many different ways for me, and you're showing me that despite what was done to me and how wrong it was, you have been just beside me, and you are sending what I need. And I'm grateful, because although I'm the type of person where I like to do things alone, I will isolate myself and go through a situation alone. I've learned that, one, that's not healthy, and you should not do that. And I've learned that God has given me a community for a reason. And I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that. And I know I mentioned I grew up in a broken home, which can sometimes be triggering because, and I'm not going to, get into all that. I share the real and raw and stuff on my Patreon, because I never like to make, my videos just, and this is going on there. I don't like to do that. But on my Patreon, I really talk about how, I grew up in a broken home, and, throughout my journey, I've always wanted to do things right. When my kid's father and I got together and we got married, we waited us being together 3 to 4 years before even having children. It wasn't a rush thing by any means, so that there would never be a broken home in the end result. But just because you do your part, it takes 2 people to uphold that and to make sure that doesn't happen. And so that's been a big piece of my healing journey, just kind of the grieving of that. And so when Valentine's Day came around, as you guys know, I shared in my birthday vlog. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. I shared in my birthday vlog how I celebrated my first birthday alone in 10 years. And I had shared how basically about 5 or so days before my birthday, my kid's father came to me and said that, he did not want to, he wanted to, no longer be together and everything. And when my birthday came around, about 5 days later or so, he didn't get me anything for my birthday, not a card, not nothing, a flower, nothing. And I talked about in my video, I'm not going to go over that because it's in that video how that hurt, because it was like I felt like I was dropped. And even though you had came to this decision, if your birthday was 5 days later, I would have got something just to say, not to say that I want to be back together, but you are appreciated, whether we're together or not. And thank you for the time that you did put into this. And also, because I wasn't the wrong one here, just, I'm sorry, just something. But just because you would have did something don't mean that somebody else would do that. And so when Valentine's Day came around, I didn't know what to expect, because it was like, I saw how you did on my birthday, so I didn't know what to expect. And I'm like, okay, even if I don't, get anything from you, maybe you'll get something from the kids, because in the past it'll be a gift from him and then the kids, just something, just some, I just felt like deep down something would be done. However, that day, actually one of my friends, I love her so much. Shout out to you, friend. You know you are. She had actually, because she knew everything that was going on, even before it had hit social media and stuff, she had set up a day for me and some of our other friends, some of her other friends, like our mutual friends, and then also friends that we don't have mutual. She had set up for us to go and get massages. And so I got a 60-minute deep tissue lavender massage. That was really nice, y'all. I want to go back and do like a 3-hour one. It was that good. Like, oh my gosh, that massage was everything. Just thinking about it makes me smile. After the massage, we went to her house, got ready for the night, and we ended up going out for dinner. We went to the bank. That was my first time going to the bank for dinner. I had went for someone's like homegoing, and someone who had passed away. They had their, like, not reception, but when you have food and stuff. I don't know the proper name for that, but they had that at the bank. However, this is my first time going just like with friends or with anybody for that matter, just to dine in, not for an event type of situation. And the food was so good. I was so stuck on lamb chops because on my birthday, I wanted to get lamb chops, but my appetite was just so gone. I could, for quite some time, y'all know I had lost so much weight. I had, it was hard to eat. And even now, I'm not back to how back to where I want to be, but I'm not there anymore. So that's good as far as, how I was doing then. And so I know for my birthday, I wanted lamb chops. I kept talking about it, and I never ordered them. And so for Valentine's Day, I was like, I'm getting my lamb chops. And I got some lamb chops. And what was it? Lamb chops. I'll insert the footage of lamb chops. Y'all will see it. What else was it? Lamb chops, some crab fried rice. And I think that was it. Lamb chops and crab fried rice. And then I got me this drink called Lovebird. It was so good. And I had a really great time. I looked amazing. I looked beautiful. I felt beautiful. And I had a really great time. After that, we went and watched the Bob Marley movie. It had just came out, Valentine's Day, I believe. And we went and watched that. That was such a good movie. Oh my gosh, I loved it. If you have not seen the Bob Marley movie, definitely head over and see it. It was so good. I did have a moment during it, y'all, that I did share on my Patreon because, he was married and he didn't do his wife, right, and he cheated on her and had kids on her and stuff. And the wife, just her love for him, I got it. I understood all the way to the end. I could relate, and it, I shared about that on my Patreon, so I ain't gonna get into it. But I had a moment, but I got myself back together, and it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day in terms of spending with my friends. I think they call it a Valentine's Day or something, when you go out with your girls and everything. And I had a really great time. The music was on point. Baby, the vibes was vibing, and I felt great. Like I said, I looked great. And ended that night, it was late, probably 11 something. And I ended up going home. And so earlier that day, I did have a nanny, of course, there. And then after that, the kid's father, they were, he was with them for probably about an hour and a half, if that, after the nanny left. And then I came The nanny had stayed quite some time, like to 10. And from about 10 to 11:30, or I got there probably around 11:30. He was there with them. And when I got there, he was, pretty much there and heading out the door. And I would just remember, pulling up thinking like, okay, something's going to be there. Just something. Something's going to be there. And, on my Patreon, a lot of people tell me, they're like, because this other person has somebody else per se, that like their mind and heart isn't here. So you shouldn't expect anything. But like with me, I guess it's just the human decency when someone has gave you years of their life, a decade of their life, children that you wanted. It was never me trying to make you have children. And just so much of their time, love, energy, emotions, wisdom, that you just don't drop them like that. I wouldn't think. And so I was not okay, when I realized nothing was there. Not a card, nothing. I was not okay. But I did have to accept it and realize that that's where we are. Right or right, I could be wrong. And I'm definitely, it is what it is. And but after I came to that conclusion, I just shifted my mindset and just started focusing on all the wonderful and the great things that was done that day. And that's what I've had to do. Every time a negative thought comes in my head, or a feeling, of course, all my friends, they tell me, feel how you feel. Feel how you feel. And it does not make it easier too that, a lot of this stuff has unfolded on social media. And I know people are like, why you put your business on there? Well, my whole life has been on there. Some people are like, you should have waited until after y'all have finished the divorce, then, come out and tell people that it's done. Well, the reality is I did not want to any longer create content together and make it seem like everything's okay when this person is out doing that and I'm having to pick up the pieces of my heart. That was just not healthy. So I felt it was best to let y'all know this is where we are. And it's so much, and I get, in the past we've done pranks and stuff and all that talk, it doesn't make it any easier though that people won't get that this is not a prank. And I know in time though people will realize like this is not a prank, this is not a scheme, this is not to get views, this is real life where we stand right now. And divorces take time, especially when you don't agree on everything. There's so much that goes into that. And if you've never been through one, because I used to ask people, why y'all just don't get divorced? Why is it taking so long? Because it's a process. Some people's divorces take 1 to 3 years. Now mine, absolutely not. I refuse. I truly refuse. But they can take as soon as 45 days to X amount of time. They truly can. The more you guys can just agree, the quicker the paperwork just goes and goes and goes. It just, and so trust me, I would love to, not love, because of course there's nothing great about this situation. But if I had a paper to dangle to y'all and show y'all that this is real, but then I know people still probably won't even believe it from there. So it'll be something new. Oh, they're divorcing. They're really going through with it oh gosh, it's something new every single day. And I feel like if people really knew how much hurt I'm really going through, or how much this situation really, how big of a situation this is and how drastic of a life change this is, I feel like they would cool off with some of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I get it. People got to use my name to make money, use all that stuff. So do as you will. People be making up outrageous stuff. So I even got on that tangent, but it's a journey. And so, as I was saying, it doesn't make it easier that so much is unfolding in front of the light and stuff. And some people are like, you need to take a break from social media. But it's like, just because you're going through divorce, you can't not show up to work. And then if you show up to work with a smile, people think you're fake. Because who's going through a divorce smiling? So it's like people want you to just get on here and cry every day on camera. And just because you don't do that don't mean that's not how you feel behind closed doors, or that doesn't mean anything, you know. But I have a job to do. I have a family to provide for that I'm having. Like, it's a lifestyle change, so I have to show up regardless. The world keeps spinning. As much as I would like for it to stop, for me to breathe and exhale, it does not. It does not. It keeps going. And I've seen so many, you know, I don't watch like any people who make content about the situation, because it's like, it's not good for me to watch that stuff, because I already have enough that I'm going through, and people coming up with their own scenarios and what they think this really is and what it's not. Nobody has time to listen to that, because they don't have no truth. Honestly, I feel like if people really knew what it was, if anything, the last thing they'll be is making me look like, you know, if they really knew. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But I just say all that to say, you know, it's a journey. Oh, I was talking about the, you know, blogging and stuff. I don't watch stuff, but people do send it to me. And I'll just see the title and thumbnail, and I'm just like, okay. But I don't feed my mind with that. I only feed my mind with positivity, and my friends that send me quotes, my mom, and everybody just to check on me. I'll read my scripture, and I have a motivation app that sends me motivation. And I just keep going. Because at the end of the day, God has me, and God is, when I say, when this thing comes full circle, baby, when this thing comes full circle, everything I've sown, the time I've invested, the tears I've cried, it's going to be a beautiful harvest for me, and I know that for certain. And that's what keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me motivated every day. I have to remind myself of that, and remembering who I am, really. Sometimes situations like this can try to take a huge hit at your self-esteem, but you have to remember who you are and whose you are. Who you are and whose you are. And knowing who you are as an individual, and whose you are by belonging to God, that alone, when you really know that and tap into that, because you have to remind yourself every day going through something like that, it shifts things into a whole, you know, it just shifts stuff, and it lets you look from a different perspective, and it reminds you of what you deserve and what you don't deserve, and you're able to remind yourself that in this situation, I know for me, like, you're the prize. And it took my mom coming down here and saying those very words, because I was, you know, going through, and my mom came down here. I didn't vlog none of that, but so much has happened, you know, that's why I said, you know, the camera is just a small part that y'all see, but it'd be so much more at times. And my mom said those words right out of her mouth, and I had to remind myself, because at the end of the day, that's always been the case. But some situations can come and make you think otherwise. But baby, let's be real. Let's be real. And I'm definitely not the type to brag on myself. That's never been me, child. I'm as humble as can be, sweet as can be. But sometimes you can be humble, but you also gotta know and stand on it. Period. So, Valentine's Day was a day to remember the good and the what I thought in the moment wasn't so good. And I'm on a journey. A beautiful journey. And I appreciate y'all being here with me, and y'all going through this journey with me. I love y'all so much. I really do. Thanks for being locked in. Thanks for showing up to every video, watching every video, watching it all the way through. Like, I see y'all. We have a whole community over here, and I love it. And, you know, I always say on my channel, like, if you see any negativity, shut it down, because, you know, over here we don't do negativity. We don't do negative comments. This is a community of positivity. We are growing, we're healing, we're loving ourselves, and we're loving each other. And I want this to be a safe space, not just for me, but for y'all. If y'all are ever going through something, I want y'all to be able to put it in the comments. And whether I respond or somebody else in the community responds, I want it to be a response of prayer or a response of something positive to push and challenge and encourage that other person. That's what I want this to be. And that's what it is. That's what it is. And I love it. And I see y'all's comments and I see y'all's prayers. And even on my Patreon, I see it. I see it. I see it. And I am just so grateful. I am just so grateful. I am just so grateful. And I love that the seeds that I'm planting now are growing. And the seeds that I've even planted, you know, before this, you know, the affair and, you know, the divorce starting and stuff. The seeds I planted even then, because I've always been the same person. I've always been warm, sweet, genuine, loving, ambitious. I've always been this person, caring for others, loving others. So I was sowing them seeds even then and building this community. And I just love how they're just flourishing, and y'all are just, you know, of course you can't do nothing about the negative, but I love that the positive always outweighs the negative. Always. Always. And I love how y'all are faithful and y'all show up. Y'all click the links to the brands that I put in there. Like, you know, when it may be a brand in my videos, like, y'all show up, and I appreciate that. And God has even told me so many. Y'all, my dang on phone ended up getting too hot and it shut off. But which I'm thinking about getting me a camera, y'all. But I've done my whole YouTube career on literally an iPhone, and literally has made a whole living. So it's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna see though, because I have friends who switch to cameras for just reasons like that and storage and stuff. But anywho, as I was saying, you know, God has told me, and he's had so many people come and share with me that what God told me, and then I'll tell you what they said. But God pretty much said that he's going to restore the years that I gave and I sold and I loved and I cried and I, you know, all of that. He's going to restore it all. And, you know, people have said the same thing to me, and I'm in my restoration season, and God is going to do just that. He's going to do just that in every area of my life. In every area of my life. So I appreciate y'all for being on this journey, for supporting, for locking in, because we're going up from here, baby. It's going to be so much, and God is healing me from the inside out. And gosh, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of something. I haven't even scratched the surface of what God is going to do through me. At times when I thought it was the end because of this, God has created and birthed a new era of MaHogany, and it's going to be bigger and better than I could have ever imagined if things were the other way. So I love y'all so much. I do. Like, is that song by Jesus? I do. Y'all, I'm really a goofball at heart. But I love y'all so much. Can't wait to see y'all in the next video. I'll be looking forward to seeing y'all and talking to y'all. I do. I love y'all. Y'all are my family, and I mean that. And it's just, you know, I'm so grateful. I love y'all so much. Can't wait to see y'all in the next video. Make sure you subscribe. You got that post notification bell on, and that you're following me on all my social media platforms so we locked in, okay? Love y'all so much. Go out there and have a great day. Quick prayer. Lord God, cover everyone that's watching this video. Cover me. God, continue to remind all of us of our worth, and God, who you've called us to be and whose we are, which is yours, God. Continue to show us in every way. God, give us fresh ideas, God, and continue to give us direction, Lord, and we will continue to follow your will and plan for our life. We invite you into our hearts, God, and if people have never even talked to you before today, God, I pray that they'll invite you into their hearts and accept you as Christ and their Lord and Savior, Lord. And God, I just pray that you'll continue to lead and guide us as we continue to accept you into our heart, and we continue to ask for your leading, your guidance, and for you to lead us through every area, every situation. God, we love you and we thank you. So in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Go out there and have a great day. Go be great. Be positive. Love yourself. Love other people. And let's just go be great. Love y'all so much. Mwah. You give all day long.